going on, everyone? This is a Popcorn Heroes review of Raya and the Last Dragon on Disney Plus, but also in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Yep.
But wait, Disney Plus for Premier Access.
Premier Access.
Forget.
Yep.
That's right.
If
you want it, if you want the quote unquote free version of Disney Plus, you got to wait till the summer.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, Raya and the Last Dragon. I am Armando. With me today is Pedro. What is up?
Hello. Chilling.
All right, ladies and gents. Today we're talking about, as I mentioned before, Raya and the Last Dragon, a Premier Access Disney Plus movie, which for some reason people thought it was an upgraded version of Disney Plus, and I was like, nah. It's just
that happened. Yeah,
it's just a fucking a fee you have to unlock a movie.
It's an on demand on top of the streaming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is, if people still think about it in that fashion, there's something fucking up with the marketing. 100%. It isn't marketed well.
No, not at all. We understood it, but we read about it because when they did it for Mulan, I was a little confused as well. And then I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. So yeah, I knew. But I had to look it up. It wasn't Disney telling me.
Yeah.
I had to do the extra research. And people are lazy. They ain't going to do that. So
exactly.
Yeah, shitty marketing.
Yeah. For sure, and I think that's the reason why this keeps failing, because they don't market it well enough for people to understand what the fuck Premier Access is.
Agreed.
And also,
this is
it's highly
the Wii
expensive.
U of streaming. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they need to drop it down $5 or $10 more, dude. And I think what they should do with the Premier Access, because clearly it bombed. What they need to do with the Premier Access is, one, either drop it down to $25 or $20 and make it the 48-hour window on their own platform. Like you're unlocking it for 48 hours.
Yeah, I think the reason why they make it 30 is because they figure people live with someone else, so they're trying to split into movie tickets.
For sure, definitely that is definitely the case. But I feel like if you give people a window to watch it, and if they really enjoyed it, they're gonna watch it again. They'll just unlock it again, and they'll pay those extra $20 to watch it again. That's what all these other people do. Universal does that shit, when it goes on demand, you're renting that shit out for $20 and it's only $48. So if you really want to watch it again, you have to rent it again.
Yeah.
Or you can just wait for the free version, or go watch it in movie theaters, which is also released on movie theaters.
Yeah. The fact that you spend $30 is a lot, but the fact that you can keep it all the way until
the free version,
when it comes out for free, which is 6 months. Now, if you get it, if it's been 5 months and you decide to pay for it, you're an idiot, and it's not worth it because all you got to do is wait one more month. Yeah. But if you're watching it day that it releases, I think the $30 is worth it, depending on the movie, obviously. But I think the idea makes sense to me in the beginning, but after a while, it doesn't.
No, absolutely. And you could still go see it in theaters, so
yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
If you wanted that option, it's out there for you. But enough of that conversation. Pedro,
that's right.
Hit us with the premise.
Yes. So this movie is called Raya and the Last Dragon, and it is the latest Disney princess animated Disney film, and it follows. Well, when the movie starts, it follows Raya, a wanderer, going through the fictional city, the fictional land of Kumandra, which is a cool little mix of all the Asian cultures in a fantasy world. And it is a land ravaged by the Droon, which are evil spirits that turn people into stone. And it's pretty much Raya trying to save the world. And let's just keep it at that.
Nice. Amazing. Typical premise of world-saving movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. But like we always do, ladies and gents, we start off the reviews with a short thoughts about the movie, 1 out of 5, and then we get into the spoilers and all the conversations that come with that. So to kick it off, Pedro, give me your 1 out of 5 and your very, very small, short thoughts.
So I'm a little torn now. I'm between, because I did really like it, but I also thought there was more potential than what it gave me. So that's why I'm torn between a 3 and a 4, and I think I'm just going to average it to a 3.5. So my short thoughts on it is, I loved the idea of it, the premise of it, but it felt like it was rushed to compress it into a 2-hour movie. I think it was so much lore, so much interesting world that they built that it should have been a series, a mini series at least. It gave me Airbender vibes, and I was like, man, I feel like I want to ride this adventure, get to know these characters, and then by the time it's done, and I'm like, fuck, like the ride ended too soon. So that's what bummed me out, that there wasn't enough. And I think that's a good thing, because they're on the right track with this story, but they thought they should have been more ambitious, in my opinion. So yeah, that being said, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's the main thing. I love the characters, but I felt that there should have been more.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with everything you just said. I was in the same boat with you. I'm just like, man, I really like this movie, but there's something missing about it. And it's a good ride, but at the same time, I'm not satisfied. I'm just like, yes. So I agree with your 3.5. It's definitely, it's a good movie. I do say people need to watch this. But just like you said, there's a lot of lore in this story, and there was so much given to you, and like I want to know more about this world, especially about the Druids. Like, you know shit about them, and I wanted to know who they are. I'm like, who the fuck are these things? Where they came from? Why are they in this? Why are they in this world? How did they come to this world? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had more questions than I had answers by the end of the movie. And that's a good thing. Agreed. If you're world building, you know, if you're building something, you're gonna add me, give me more. But I don't know if they're gonna give me more. So it was just an interesting world that I wish I knew more about.
Yeah, 100% agree.
The characters were great. Everybody had their screen time. Everybody had their moments. I don't think anybody was I don't feel that anybody was shortchanged when it comes to story development. Yeah, everybody had their moments.
Out of the main cast, they all got their moment to shine, and that was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like I understood enough about them with the little that they were giving me. Like the little they gave me a well-rounded character, I guess. Like I feel like if the movie had more time to express and dive into them, I think it would have been even better. But this movie is what, like a 2-hour movie? I think.
No, dude, 107 minutes. So that's an hour and a half. Wow, an hour and 40. Yeah, an hour and 47 minutes.
I think this movie needed at least maybe like 10 hours. I mean, 10 hours, 10 more minutes. Yeah, I would have hated it to be a 2-hour movie, but I think it's 10 more minutes to explore more of the lore and just.
You also got to think. You also got to think, at the end of the day, this is still a kids movie and attention span, and they don't want to hit the 2 hours like you said. I even think that 107. I don't know. I guess I would have to compare it. I guess 107 sounds average for a Disney animated.
It's not a bad time. I mean, if you think about it, Wreck-It Ralph was super long. That movie was, oh my god.
Was it? I'm gonna fact check that, because it did feel long. You're talking about the second
Ralph
one,
was
right?
Almost 2 hours. Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, the second one did feel long, but I don't know if maybe it was just the story.
Yeah, it was a very long.
Look at that one. 112 minutes. It's 8 minutes short of 2 hours. Yeah, so it just felt long.
Yeah, that movie itself was bloated. It should have been cut.
And the first Wreck-It Ralph was 101 minutes, so it's shorter. Yeah. Shorter than this, too. Shorter than Raya.
I was looking at Toy Story 4, and Toy Story was an hour and 40.
Okay. So. Yeah, they average at that. It's an hour and a half to an hour and 40.
Soul was 147.
147. Yeah. Wait, Soul was 147.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Moana was 153.
Wait, do you mean
should have been the 153?
You mean 153 minutes or an hour and 53 minutes?
No, an hour and 53 minutes.
Oh, I thought you meant 153 minutes. I was gonna go, yo, that's 2.5 hours. Okay, okay.
That's insane. No, I'm saying like they were 147, like an hour and 47 minutes.
Ah, got it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Right here,
Okay.
Moana was an hour and 53, and I thought that movie was perfectly balanced.
It didn't feel long. It didn't feel that long, huh?
Nope. So
it could also be the musicals. The musicals probably get you like,
wow,
or maybe the
true.
opposite for certain people.
that is one thing that this movie didn't have was music, which usually they always do.
So let's get into it because I'm actually going to get into something like that as well. There's a certain type of Disney movie that this reminded me of.
Okay, so before we leave, Pedro, would you recommend this to somebody?
I would recommend it actually. Yes.
What about the premiere access?
That's a hard one to say. I still would. If you're really big into movies, you got a big family. I think it's worth it because you get to watch it as many times as you want. If your kids like it, they can watch it on repeat, and you don't got to take them to the theater and spend God knows how much on tickets. So I think when you think of it, that replay value with a lot of people in the household that are interested in, I think it pays for itself.
Yeah, I agree. I recommend it also. And if you have a big family, it's just worth
100%.
it. Like, just premiere access that shit. Watch it on repeat. You know, kids love that crap. And you know, if you're not afraid to go to the movie theaters, I would recommend it to go to the movie theaters if you're not afraid. Like, if you don't care and like, fuck, what Rona? Like half of the people in Miami, then for sure, you know, go to the
what Rona?
You know, go to the movies. I went to the movies. And you know, I saw it. I was fortunate enough that it was an empty theater.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Yeah, there's just the right time to go. You know, you gotta go in the afternoon, where no one likes to go, and on the weekday. Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate enough to hit all those points, and I saw it in the movie theaters, and I thought it was a great experience, and you know, just to be back again, you know, see that empty theater, it was great. Eating popcorn again. And yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. You guys should go see it for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's get into it, Pedro. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers. We're talking about spoilers now.
Spoilers ahead.
If you've seen the movie, stick around. If you haven't, look at where you left off and come back. Or if you don't give a fuck, let's get into it. Pedro, what is that you wanted to speak about?
Oh, so we were talking about, you know, there's the Disney movie, there's the musicals, and I know Wreck-It Ralph isn't really part of that, but it is a Disney princess movie. That's what this is. And it didn't have any music, which is very interesting. But, so this gave me vibes of Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Which, the reason why is the tone of it. It's very action-adventure, more Indiana Jones than Disney, even though Disney owns Indiana Jones. But you know what I'm saying. So... yeah. It gave me vibes of that where I'm like, damn, you know, if Disney, any other animation company could have done this and I would have been like, oh, okay, yeah. It didn't feel like a Disney thing because it felt like there was stuff at stake. It felt like people can die. It felt, I don't know, it just felt more, I'm not going to say adult, but more teenagery. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It felt more teenagery. It felt more mature. That's actually the word I was looking for. It felt more mature. And then the plot was very mature as well. Just the idea of it too.
And you had a mature girl also.
Yes.
Who, you know, typically speaking, the princesses are more naive, you know?
Yes.
But she wasn't naive.
I actually agree with that for the most part.
She's a world traveler, you know? She's on her own. She's a survivor straight up, you know?
Yeah. And so the great thing about that, too, is you get her character development as well. You get the naive in the beginning, and then she's like, yo, fuck everyone. And then it sounds annoying because it's like, no, I can't trust. And, you know, from the outside, you're like, come on, stop being like that. But then when you see it, you're like, yeah, of course. I get you.
Yeah. It makes sense in her. And
let me do a quick shout out to Kelly Marie Tran for fucking killing that role.
Yo, she did a great job with her voice acting. Oh my god,
it was so good. I was like, yo, this is like
great,
top notch voice acting.
And you know what's funny that she was recasted, like the voice. She was recasted the voice of what's this girl's name? The main character
of the character Raya.
Raya. So Raya had a different voice actress, and then they
Interesting. She
recast
wasn't
her
the first
to
choice.
Kelly Marie Tran because it wasn't
I
working
think
out.
it's a wow. Well, there you go.
And she
then
killed
I
it.
can see why. Absolutely, absolutely. I was like, man, this chick's fucking awesome. It's unfortunate that actress got the bullshit that she did due to the toxic Star Wars fandom. We have our gripe with the movie. We have our gripe with the character she played. But I mean, singling that out to a fucking actress is absolute horseshit. So I'm glad that she got something to show that she shined in. So I hope
for
that
sure.
this continues a future for her in voice acting or even just acting. Period. She's got the chops for it. 100%.
Yeah. The problem, that again, the she got the brunt of the bullshit from Last Jedi because her character herself was some shit in the Last Jedi. It necessarily had to do with her
agreed.
acting. Her acting was fine, and she was fine at how she was directed. But the way
what
she was
she got,
directed
right.
and her character was shit. So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that she was exposed in a shit movie and directed shittily. She looked like shit also, and like she's a very pretty girl, and she looked like shit in the movie. So it's unfortunate all your shit was in such a high profile movie that it didn't allow you to develop and do your own thing. Because
Yeah.
fortunate for other people, like Boyega had movies before that. Of course, she had Kylo Ren in other movies, and so it just
That's
sucks.
true.
It just sucks
That was
for
her first one, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was a breakout role,
Yeah. It's just nice to see what she can do with really good material, and she knocked it out the park. At the very least, voice acting wise. But I got a feeling if you can pull off voice acting like this, you could pull off acting like this.
So here we go, Pedro. The initial voice actress of Raya was Cassie Steele,
Where's she from?
and she is most known for being on Degrassi. Never seen it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
She was in all of the Degrassi shows.
Oh, well, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to know that. I mean, I think they were going for an unknown just to avoid a big paycheck and just to avoid it from distracting the character. That's one of the things that
So
DreamWorks and all these people always
She was
fall into.
Manny Santos in Degrassi, and she did a lot of Degrassi. Like, she was with that character for years, and she did it in all the spin-offs also. So
They were probably like, hey, you want to not be that character anymore? Be a Disney princess. And then they're like, yeah, maybe go back to Degrassi.
So I guess she's most known for after that for being in Rick and Morty. She is Tammy in Rick and Morty, which is I think Bird Person's girl.
Girl, yes. Oh, I know her voice then. She does that blonde white girl voice then.
Yeah.
Like the ditzy blonde type of person, at least in the Rick and Morty show.
In the Rick and Morty.
Okay. Got it.
But in Rick and Morty, she becomes very serious too, though. So.
Oh, I didn't get that far, so.
You missing out, bro.
I know, man.
But yeah, so that was the initial voice actress, and to be honest with you, Kelly Marie Tran killed it, dude. She did a really good job. And you know what I love about this type of things of actors who are in roles that I couldn't really tell it was her.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recognize her voice that much.
Yeah.
So which is a great thing as a voice actress, or a voice actor in general, just losing yourself to a character, and people can't recognize who you are. That's it, because you end up being into the movie. You're more engrossed.
Yeah. So one of the complaints, now we're talking about the characters specifically, I actually had a complaint. Okay, so it's actually double. I was very impressed by how Awkwafina did.
Yeah.
And then I
Awkwafina's
also was kind of turned off by the fact that I couldn't unhear that it was Awkwafina, like you were saying. So a part of me was like, man, she did really good. Like, she had a good range, but I've seen her do great range because I saw her in that movie that she got nominated for last year. Forgot it right now, but Farewell. So I know she's got the chops for it. But it's just at the end of the day, you still were playing Awkwafina as a dragon. So I'm like, it's kind of like how they got Eddie Murphy to play Mushu just to act as Eddie Murphy. So I
Which
felt like
worked.
they were like, oh, which okay. So I think it worked because we were young. And I think if we were older looking at it, we would have been like, "Oh, it's just fucking Eddie Murphy as Mushu," you know. Like I think, and then now we have the nostalgia goggles. At least I'm trying to put myself in that shoes.
But it's
So
the
I
same
feel
thing
like
with
it's the
Donkey.
same thing.
When he was Donkey, it's just Eddie Murphy as Donkey.
Yeah. It's true.
And it worked.
That's true. Yeah, maybe.
So I
don't
think
know.
it worked in a sense, but I do understand what you say that you kind of like, it's just Aquafina.
Yeah. And I know they've
Which is
done
not a
that with
bad
plenty
thing,
of
he
characters. Yeah, I know they've done that with plenty of characters, but I don't know. This one was a little more on your nose for me, and I'm just like, all right, I get it. But that being said, she still had great scenes that made me go, all right, there it is. There's the good shit I was looking for. Like once the gimmick wore off, I was like, okay, I got it.
Well, the gimmick of the beginning where you're like, oh, this is so Aquafina.
Yeah, where she's doing swimming with rhyme. I'm like, this is cringy.
Yeah. I'm like, this is so Aquafina. But then after that, like once you get used to the character, she did a good job of not being her Aquafina self, I guess you can say.
Right. I guess you're right. It was the intro that threw me off, and then
Yeah.
she grew on me after. So yeah, maybe you're right.
Because at the beginning, I'm just like, oof, this is so Aquafina, dude.
Yeah. So I remember you and me had talked about it when the trailer first dropped. We were like, oh, the trailer doesn't really look that good. But I mean, Disney does that shit. Because I remember I hated the Frozen trailer, and I love the movie Frozen. So I'm like, and that was one of the scenes I saw in the trailer where I'm like, this isn't good. And I remember not liking the Con Baby in the trailer. I'm like, this is lame. And then when I watched the movie and the fucking Con Baby comes out, I'm like, yo, this is actually pretty fucking funny. And that ended up being one of my favorite characters.
I didn't like it when I first saw it. I'm just like, ugh, this is so Disney. Like a fucking baby communicating with animals, having bros with animals. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so annoying. But once she's part of the team, it feels different, you know?
Yeah, because it feels like, I don't know, I guess I kind of got the vibe that it was just her. But once you realize it's a team, it's her and the three. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the reason why. I don't know. There was just something charming about it where I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with this.
I think once she becomes part of the team, it just feels different. Because I think if it was just some fucking random ass baby who stole her shit, and then if they continued the gimmick of her stealing the shit, I think it would have made it worse. Because it would just been, this is a gimmicky baby, you know?
Yeah, the fact that they made her intelligent, an intelligent baby that was pretending to be a goo goo gaga baby, made it funny once you realize that. I think that's what it was. I was just like, oh, a baby, really? But then afterwards, I'm like, oh, no, it's smart the entire time. So this is the character. Yeah, it totally grew on me. It ended up being one of my favorite characters.
And then they gave her that slight backstory of just like, you know, her whole family is dead. And you're like, oh, it makes sense why she, you know, is friends with all these animals.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so funny. It's like, where are your parents? And then one of the monkeys just does the pose of the prayer. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, that's some shit, dude. What I do like what I did enjoy about this movie is that, you know how she hops from kingdom to kingdom, and she picks up one person from every kingdom. So I think I found
you
the
beat
gimmick.
Me to it. I was actually going to talk about that. You beat me to it. Yep.
I found that gimmick once once they pick up the baby and on the way to the Benedict Wong's character. I'm just like, and then I'm like, wait, something's off here. And then he says he's alone. I'm like, oh, I get. He's gonna come on a trip now, and they're just picking up everybody from every kingdom. I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Yeah. So this is how they're gonna save the world.
Yep. I actually caught on to it the exact same time you caught on to it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's symbolic that they're working together, and I'm like, that's cool. And it wasn't. I don't know how they did it, but it really wasn't on the nose. I didn't even, like I said, like you said. I didn't realize it till then. He's like, I think it's when he says, I will join this fellowship of butt kickery. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I caught it when he said that he was the only person in the village. I'm like, that sounded like, okay, he's the only person in the village. He's not going to kill her. It's like, he's going to join her. So I started doing that. So I told because I was watching with Jackie and Isai. I'm like, I told Jackie, he's going to join the group. And she was like, and she starts watching him. He joins. Oh my God, you're ruining the movie for me. Because I did it to her like 3 times. The first time I did it was it's just these tropes that you just start noticing them every time you fucking watch these movies. The first one I told her about was when Raya takes she was little, she takes her to the cave with the rock in it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then as soon as the girl betrays her, I didn't see that one coming. I did not see the girl betraying her coming.
I mean, the trailers kind of ruined it because I saw she was the villain, so I kind of knew that.
I didn't see the trailers, so I didn't see that one coming. But then as soon as that happened, I'm like, I go to Jackie. Oh, her dad's gonna come and he's gonna die here.
Oh, you're right.
And then it happened, and she looks at me.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you saw this movie already?" I'm like, how did I see this movie? I just fucking. It's just these tropes that happen, you know.
It's actually Disney Princess 101 or Disney Character 101.
Yeah, you either have orphans.
You either have one parent or no parents. You don't have both parents.
Yeah.
Ever. That's the rule.
So I'm like, this is a princess movie. His guy has to die. Like, and she's on her own. You saw it in the trailer. She's on her own. So like, why would she be on her own if she had a family?
Yeah.
So it's just
not even the trailer, just the opening of the movie. Oh, I gotta say that grinded my gears at the beginning.
Oh my god, I hate that shit.
I fucking hate when they do that. The very beginning, they do. I know what you're thinking. Well, it wasn't always like this. And then I could practically hear the record skip, and then it does the flashback. That's the only thing that was missing. I was like, oh my god, it was one of these, and it was pointless to do it. It was really so pointless to do that.
There was no reason for it. It didn't add anything to the movie.
The only time that is ever useful is if you get them in some type of cliffhanger and then the flashback reveals something that'll get them out of it. That's the only way that's ever useful. And they didn't do it this time. So, no.
It was so pointless, dude. It was so pointless. And that frustrates me because I hate when movies start like that. I'm like, what's the point of this, dude?
So many do that.
Because when it first started happening, it was like, oh, that's cute, you know? But then after that, it's like, it adds nothing to the movie. There's no value in doing that. Like, what is the value?
They always. I know the rule of thumb is to start an action to get people's attention, but there wasn't action. She was just rolling through the desert. There was no action. There was no fight scene. It was just that. I'm like, no, just start explaining it. Like, explain the world. It's fine. We could wait a couple minutes. The kids will be fine.
Yeah.
Kids are gonna fall asleep. Come on.
I just hate that trope, dude. It's just played out. I feel like it would have been better if they would have opened up with them like someone reading her a story or some shit like that, or some bullshit like that of explaining the world, you know? Like, you know how Moana opened up with, you know, the book, I think the textbook or some shit like that? I don't know what it was.
Yeah. It starts off with the lore, the story, right from the get-go.
That's all you needed from this. Like, and then you cut into her
the origin
training or some shit like that, you know? But I hate that trope, dude. That whole way of filming things is just so fucking annoying because it's.
I know, it's so overdone. Point. So many movies do it, and every time
because it doesn't add anything.
No, in this case, it really didn't. Oh, when you were talking about the dad, I was gonna say, did you recognize who voiced him?
Yeah, for sure. It's a guy from Lost.
Yeah,
I forgot his name right now.
Daniel Day Kim.
Daniel Day Kim. I love that guy, dude. Every time I see him, I'm like, this guy he's so suave, dude. Like, I need him to be something. I need to see him more. He's so good.
I know. I'm like, you need to blow up. I was hoping that Hellboy would have been good to get him his thing going, but nope. That did not work out.
Yeah.
Better luck next time.
He's in Almost Be My Maybe.
Oh,
we were talking about today. He's one of the guys in that movie.
Well, I mean, you know, he had Lost, he had Hawaii 5-0, and then he left because they weren't paying him. So I don't know. Maybe he'll get a third one. Who knows?
He needs something, dude. Because I think he's a very good looking guy. So it's a miracle he hasn't been cast anywhere else. Like, he needs to be something.
Exactly.
A rom-com or some shit like that, dude. Like, he's just I like him as an actor. He's very charismatic, and I need to see him as something else.
And from what we've seen, he has a pretty good range.
And he killed it. Also, he killed it in his role.
Yeah, he did.
I really enjoyed it. So he did a really good job there.
Jin. I was trying to remember his name in Lost. Jin.
Yeah. You know, so going back to the story, what the story never explains is what those spirit things are.
So they did, but it was the most half-assed thing ever. They said it comes from the darkness of humans. They've always been there. That's it.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay.
Great way not to waste time on the lore there.
Yeah. It's like, all right, cool. And then I guess after a while, there was too much darkness in humans. And then the dragon saved everyone. Okay. So, okay. Now that we're getting into that story, a part that I didn't really understand, and maybe the movie didn't explain it either, but I'm wondering why everyone turned back from... this is the flashback now. This is where the dragons save everyone. The dragons sacrifice themselves. They all turn into stone. And they do the whole trust thing that we find out later on. And they save everyone, the humans. But the dragons stay stone. Now, you get the same thing in the ending, but the flip. It's these heroes, one from each nation. They all do it, the trust. They sacrifice themselves, and they turn everyone free, including humans and dragons. Why? That's what I didn't get. Unless it's the symbolism of the unity of humans? Is what was needed to free dragons? I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't get that part.
I think that's exactly what it was. I think that it needed the humans also to participate in that action in order to save them.
Also trust. Because
if you look at the other one, only the dragons did their thing. And it stopped and it saved people. But in order for everyone to be saved, everyone needs to participate.
Everyone needed to do the trust. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone needs to trust each other, you know. I think humans saw the dragons as like this godly thing, and like they were up there for them. But in this movie, the dragon was there with them, you know, and they were grounded in a sense. And I think with that and the humans and the dragons all coming together is what creates that breaking of that spell.
Yeah.
So I think that's exactly what it is. It's just, you know, what for the first time. Only one section did it because humans did not participate in that
at all, right? Because they all got murked real early.
Exactly, they were dead already, so they couldn't participate. So then they saved the humans, and then the humans needed to save the dragon. So then they all needed to come together. And I think, to be honest with you, I think if the humans would have came together when the dad wanted to, I think it would have broken the spell.
You might
because
have been
the humans were so still at each other's necks that how can you break the spell if they still hated each other?
Right. Yeah.
But I think if they came together, they would have saved each other.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to think. Yeah.
Because
I saw it and I'm like, wait, why is everyone? I'm like, but maybe it's more symbolic of the trusting nature of humans now. So yeah, that's probably what it was.
I just think they needed the world to come together and to save everybody. Yeah. And the world didn't come together.
So, I don't know if you got these vibes, but as I'm watching the movie, I went to Orlando and I'm like, yo, Fang is Fire Nation. That's all I kept thinking, dude. And I'm like, this chick Nomari is Zuko. Just watch. That's the vibe I kept getting. Yeah, I was like, Fire Nation.
What it was.
Zuko.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's trying to trust again, but then the mom just keeps going like, nah, Fang first, and that's it.
Keeps poisoning her head, you know?
Yeah.
I think that was another interesting point of this whole thing. It was like everybody had this thing of how to survive. The Fang were the smart people, and they figured out ways to save themselves intelligently. The big guy, Benedict Wong's people were fighters, so they tried to fight and they got destroyed instantly.
Absolutely right. Which they make fun of them in the beginning of the show, like, oh, what are they gonna do? The meatheads, like they were like the barbarians. So it's like, yeah, no, and then they get murked.
And then the other one, I forgot what they were.
There were the ones that lived on the water though. They were pretty smart. Remember the whole one was where the baby's from. I can't remember which land that is right now.
Yeah, I think that one was just them.
Talon. I just looked it up. So Talon was the one that lived on the water.
But were they? I think their village was already on the water, right?
I think they made it onto the water. Because they also had that gated area where they would put their prisoners to get stoned, which is where that twist was that the old lady was even worse than the other guy.
Yeah.
But so part of the reason why I mean, you and I were in agreement on this. Part of the reason why I think that this should have been a miniseries instead, we already agreed that the Fellowship, I'm just going to call them that, the Fellowship, they were properly introduced and they got plenty of character development, which I guess for many films is enough. But I actually wanted to know more about the lands themselves. I wanted them to spend, in theory, a couple episodes in a land, like get to know what Talon was in this, and then maybe like a whole episode where they're like, "Oh my God, the old lady got her. What are we gonna do to save her?" Like, I don't know, more drama, more exploration of each town, and that's what made me think that even the character, which was I guess the original king, that was the one that I guess was like flexing or like he was kind of douchey, and he ended up turning into stone. And you had the flower guy. I'm the flower guy. Like, I'm like, man, that's it. Like, we just got the character for 5 minutes, and he's already like I don't know who this guy is. I just know he seemed like a fun douchey character, but I didn't get to know him. So that made me think, damn, an episode of this would have been pretty good.
And Talon was the most interesting one because it was full of degenerates and gambling and all this shit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they were all the con artists, of course. We got the con baby.
They're the thieves and shit. So it would have been interesting to explore how they managed to survive also, because if they're conning everybody, then everyone's getting conned, and how everyone's going to survive if everyone's fucking taking something for somebody.
I think they were going for like, what am I thinking of? Like the marketplace areas. You go through the streets and it's like, oh, hey, here. Hey, buy this, buy this. Mm-hmm. And they are conning you in a way. It's like, hey, $10. Oh, how much, like that. They just put it to 100 for the sake of con baby and all that. But I understood where what's the word I'm looking for? Where the inspiration for these places came from, which is really cool.
Yeah. You know what? One thing I didn't understand from the movie is that why everybody, when they were turned to stone, they had that prayer pose. I never understood.
I don't know. I think that's a reference to the actual statues in Asia. I could be totally mistaken, but that's the vibe I got. I think they were referencing that to where those statues came from. Because I guess...
Sure. But what I'm questioning is why that pose? Because they were doing something else and then they turned to stone and they turned into that pose. It's not like they were frozen in what they were doing.
What they were doing. So,
converted to that pose,
Yeah. I'm sure there's something, obviously there's something symbolic in there, but I guess if I had to just pull a explanation out of my ass, I would say it probably had to do with, because that seemed like a pose where you offer something to someone. So maybe that's like, oh, offered my soul and I'm fucking done. I don't know. That's just me pulling something though. I really don't know. I would love to see because Disney does really good the art of books. I would love to see the art of Raya and the Last Dragon because they explain certain things like that. So I'll do some research on that because I was also thinking the same thing during the movie, like why that pose, and I totally forgot to look it up.
The
only time that rule was broken was at the end to show where they all hugged each other. That's the only time where they broke the rule, and I understood why, because they wanted it to look like they were all together. The main group, the kid was hugging Raya. He was holding the baby, all that stuff. When they all turn into stone at the very end for the sacrifice, that's the only time that rule was broken. And I understood why, because you wanted to show that they were together as one big statue.
Yeah, that was the curious one, man. I guess that pose has to be offering or some shit like that, right? Giving
that
offering.
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing that makes sense. And
there's supposed to be the corruption and the evil inside humans' hearts. So I don't know. There's got to be something like that, some type of offering.
I also like the religious signs they did. What is it, like that or something like that?
Oh yeah. They would do the orb. They were doing the orb because that's what they worshipped, the orb. And it was pretty much like, thank you for your sacrifice. It was It definitely
that symbolism
gave.
Was great.
Yeah, definitely. I liked it, especially that scene. So, you think, what was her name again? Let me look it up. Namari. At this point, Namari, the villain, the big bad. But then there's that scene where you see her like quietly go into the field where all the dragons are turned to stone. And there's that quiet like moment where, like amazing. That somber music. And then she does the pose and then the camera goes out and you get to see it. I was like, damn, what a great fucking shot.
Yeah. It was so good, dude. That respect. Everybody respected that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Everyone was like, they worshipped them. They were what saved everyone, and then of course the greediness of humans still kicked back in. But it was very good.
Yeah.
Um, something I found really funny. So Tuk Tuk, which was the armadillo that she had.
Yeah.
Did you saw who voiced it?
Yeah.
How
That guy,
fucking
dude.
random.
Alan Tudyk is a fucking voice actor
Fucking
genius, dude. I love
Alan
everything he
Tudyk.
does. I love everything he does, dude. He's so good at voice acting in general, man. He's just
So obviously no normal person would ever catch that it was him. But when I saw his name in the credits at the end, I'm like, who? Who were you? And when I saw Tuk Tuk, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. They put him
making
as
those
Tuk Tuk.
little noises. This fucking
Yeah.
guy, man.
Like, okay.
He's so fucking
ran-
good.
But I mean, hey, what else has he done for Disney? Well, I know he did K2. I'm sure he's just on that Disney payroll. Like,
He's the weasel in Zootopia.
No shit.
Yeah.
Another weird
Yeah.
fucking noise.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He's
Oh,
done
yeah.
other stuff, dude. His voice acting is fucking on
So
point,
he's some
dude.
random characters in Frozen too. He was a guard. He was a soldier and some leader. Just random. Yeah, he's just on their payroll for like random shit. In Moana, he was villager number 3.
Whoa. That big guy.
Oh, and Hi Hi. So he was the voice of the rooster or chicken, turkey, whatever the fuck it was. I can't remember.
Yeah,
right
the
now.
rooster.
The rooster. You're right.
It's hey hey.
Oh, man.
Not hi hi. Hey hey.
Hey, hey. Thank you. So interesting. I did not know he had that repertoire.
Yeah. He's a great voice actor. It's like
Yeah,
Benedict
definitely.
Wong, dude. Whenever Benedict Wong pops up somewhere, I'm like, oh my god, he's Benedict Wong. I love that guy.
Dude, I knew his voice instantly. So I had forgotten that he was in it, from the trailer. But when I heard that
Yeah.
voice, I was like, oh my god, this fucking guy is here.
He's
Yeah,
so
he's
good,
great.
dude.
Yeah.
I love him so much, man. He's such a great actor too.
Oh
Yes, some
shit,
respect.
Sandra Oh was Namari's mother from the Fang Land.
Ooh.
I did not recognize her.
Uh-uh.
So she
great,
was
dude.
she was the antagonist.
That's good shit when you don't fucking find these actors, dude. When
No,
you
not
don't
at all.
recognize them,
Yeah.
it's perfect. But yeah. Any last words, Pedro, about this movie?
No. I mean, the more we talk about it, the more I realize how much I really liked it. But the only reason why I'm dropping it that 0.5 is just because I saw more potential and I felt like
Yeah.
they didn't tap into that. Just for that. It's really just me more of like disappointed that they built such a nice, well-rounded world, great lore,
And everything got
great-
glazed over.
and yeah, and it felt rushed. Oh, I will point out one more thing. I didn't like when Aquafina's character died, when Sisu died. I don't know. I felt that there could have been a more dramatic way to it. It just felt so like, really? That's it? Really? You're just gonna argue and accidentally get shot by an arrow? You're a fucking dragon. Really,
It's-
of all the ways?
I guess it's just to symbolize what comes after it, right? Because in that moment, Raya doesn't trust anybody. Because the dragon
'Cause
was talking her down.
Yeah,
And
they were trying
got
to
to her.
imply that it was Raya's fault, right?
Yeah. And then when Raya finally gives in and trusts, he's like, oh my god, she trusts. That's what they're trying to go for.
Yeah, yeah. I got it. I get it. But I guess the fact that we saw her do such fantastical shit is just kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
That was like, really?
That's
That's like
payoff
introducing a
was
badass character. The payoff was great, for sure.
Yeah, the payoff was for the ending of her trusting. That's why
Yeah.
that's why that felt so unimportant, because the payoff
Yeah.
wasn't there. The payoff is later.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
yeah.
god, it adds up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The purpose wasn't that Sisu was going to save everyone. The purpose was that they needed to save each other.
Exactly.
She was just like the catalyst, like, hey, open your eyes, guys. You need to like stop being idiots and then die. And then they're like, oh no, we need to trust in Sisu's sacrifice. it all makes sense. It just still felt
does.
like, damn, really?
It needed more power.
That's what you guys. Yeah, there needed to be some more power. I was just kind of like, oh, she's dead. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It should
exactly.
have been. So that should have been a Mufasa moment, and it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. It should have been a move. It should have been like, oh no,
Oh, no,
now what?
they fucked up,
Instead,
you know?
instead, I was like, oh, she'll be back. She'll
Yeah.
be. Wait. Like they didn't even show a scene of like her dead body there or something like really dead to make me go, oh fuck.
They didn't do the Mufasa.
They didn't do the Mufasa, exactly. You know what? That's what it needed. It needed a final shot of her like still like, oh shit.
Or her
She's
kind of
fucking
like a crying face or something like that of like why
something.
like expressive, because then she just disappeared into the water and you're like
She disappeared into the water. You're right. Yeah, there was no I don't know what word I'm looking for, but there was no closure to it. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. What I'm
And those bubbles started coming out after that. Was it after that or was it later? I don't remember.
No, I think the bubbles came out when they were getting revived.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what it was. Because the whole time
was
I'm thinking,
it the
she's gonna
earthquake?
come up.
Was it an earthquake or something when she died? That is like things started breaking down or something like that. I think it was an earth. Oh, the water run dry. That's what it was. When she died, the water ran dry.
Yeah, I guess that was their way of going, oh no, she's dead. But I didn't really feel that.
Nah, I didn't feel it. Because the thing is,
like,
what? So she disappeared into the water? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if the water ran dry.
I know it's a kid's movie, but can you imagine if she just would have been in the water and then the water runs dry and you just see her fucking body there?
That's what I thought was gonna happen. I'm just like, I guess her body's just hanging out there.
And I know some people are probably thinking it's a Disney movie. That didn't stop Mufasa.
Yeah, exactly, dude. If you never saw Mufasa, you have never felt the pain, especially with Simba going to the body and crying,
and even trying to lift his paw and everything.
Yeah.
You felt it.
That's what gave you that potent. Yeah. That gave you that power.
Yeah. So that's what it was missing. That's what it was missing. The way that she died wasn't bad. It was the fact that there was no moment past that. You're right.
I think if they should have just needed a shot of like a betrayal face, and for you to be like, oh no, you know, like cause her like don't give me her dead body there. Just give me her face like going down. Like what? Why is this happening? And I think that would have been and or her doing that and just disappearing into the water. Oh my god, like Bing Bong. That would have been epic. Damn, when Bing Bong disappeared, come on, dude. Who didn't cry at that moment? So I think they needed something like that of her like disappearing into the water or some shit like that, like giving a face of like why, and then disappearing into the water, and then the water evaporates. Like oh my gosh, she's gone. You know,
she's gone. Yeah. There definitely needed to be a harder hitting moment, but yeah. You're
right, man. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, yeah. Their goal was to hit you with the payoff at the end. But this also should have been a punch, a punch in the gut,
a gut punch for the payoff. Right.
Yeah, you're right, man.
But
you're absolutely right.
It overall ended great. I don't know where they can go from here. I know if it's a hit, which it doesn't seem like it's a hit.
No,
but if it is a hit,
it made less money than the one that came before it. What was that came before it?
You mean for premiere access?
No. In the box office.
Wasn't it Frozen 2?
No.
Wreck-It Ralph?
No. I'm talking about just movie in general. The box office. Was it The Croods?
You thinking a kids movie?
Yeah, I think that it made more. I think it made less money than Croods 2 in the box office.
Ooh, if that's the case, it can't be Croods 2. I think Croods
opening
2
week
was closer.
Opening week. Yeah, there you go. Yes, it made less money than... Oh, no, Tom and Jerry. That's what it was. It made less money than Tom and Jerry on its first week.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's bad. That is
bad. Because they're going by theater. I wonder if they included Disney Access numbers, but...
No. Box office doesn't include that. Right. But it's one of those things where it makes you think, right? Tom and Jerry made $14 million on its opening weekend. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
During the pandemic, because the most the movie ever made during the pandemic was like $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom and Jerry made 14.
That's big.
Raya and the Last Dragon in its opening weekend only made 8.5.
Yeah. So check this out. So budget over 100 million. They just say 100 million plus, and its box office right now is 53.3 million. They only made half. That's bad. And that's so unfortunate because this is a fucking solid movie, dude. Like, with a lot of potential for sequels if they really want to go that route, or even prequels. Like, they could do anything. Like, it's such a great world. You could do spin-offs. It actually gets me mad knowing that it made so little money, because it's just gloriously animated, and
it is beautiful. It's a beautiful movie, but it's one of those things where it makes you think, like, all right, if it made only 8 million in the box office, that means how much money did it make in Premier Access?
In Premier Access, yeah, but I don't know if they'll release those numbers. I am curious about.
They never will. They never will. But it was one of those things where, like, how much did it make? You know, I hope it made enough for it to be, you know, kind of break even at some point.
Yeah, there are certain movies that COVID has benefited that got, you know, HBO love, and then there are some that it's totally destroying. Like, I think Tenet got destroyed by COVID. Raya got destroyed by COVID. I guess maybe Mulan, even though no one really cared for it, but still, the fact that it didn't make
Mulan did so bad.
But I think this is one that deserved some love, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's getting it. That sucks, man. That's unfortunate.
No. And it sucks, dude. Let's see what happens, because, you know, I think Los Angeles just, California in general, movie theaters opened up this week on Monday.
So interesting.
Let's see how. I mean, it's not gonna add anything to the box office, but maybe it will add a little bit something. You know, maybe keep it up there a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, you know, you could only hope. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So so far it's made 17 million. Domestic.
One more shout out to the actor. So the kid that played as Boone, which was the Shrimporium kid.
Yeah.
I was like, man, what a great fucking actor! Like, he's got charisma. Where's he from? Did you look him up?
I know where he's from, but I don't remember right now. I remember seeing him before.
He was from is it called Bad Boys? No, Good Boys. Sorry, he's from Good Boys.
Yes, the Asian kid.
Yes, he's the cool one. He was the one that's like, yeah, that's cool. What's up?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's funny that I was watching like, he did a good job overall. I was watching a video of a guy who does recastings for, like, who does live action castings for stuff, and he did one for Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he said this kid would be the perfect Aang.
Yes, dude, 100%. Oh my god, yeah.
For live action, I'm just like, shit.
Absolutely.
I'm like, yeah, man, I think he would kill it, dude.
Yeah,
that's one casting I'm not gonna say no to.
No, not at all. Yeah, I thought that was great.
He has range, dude. Look at his voice acting in this shit. Like, he did a good job for a kid.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing, dude. He's a good acting kid, man.
Yeah, when I realized it was that kid, I was like, this kid already got range. Look at that.
Yeah. He plays a cool kid.
Yeah, he plays cool. He plays crazy eccentric. He had his sad moments here. Yeah. Overall, I was very impressed by the main. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters? 7 if you include the baby. No, 7 if you include the baby. Yeah, the good solid 7. That's
It was good, man. It was a good movie.
6.
It's just like you said. It felt hollow at times because there was no development that allowed it to be better than what it was. You know.
Yeah.
This movie could have been fucking top notch if they would have just delved into the world more.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
But
all right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed this review of Raya and the Last Dragon. You can watch it on Disney Plus right now with Premier Access, or you could wait till the summer, I think June or July, to watch it. Or if you're darefull enough, if you're feeling on the wild side, you can go watch it in the movie theaters, which is currently out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know your thoughts and opinions about the movie. Till next time.
Bye-bye.